But hey, somebody just joined live, so that must mean we're live. Hi, Holly. Oh, we are on day 9 of the Visibility Challenge, and I am back today to talk about something I've shared about before. That was the topic for today. It was something we've shared about before, and thought that was the perfect time to share about my butterfly method program because just in case this is your first time dropping in during this visibility challenge, I have been specifically working on the visibility of sharing my offers with the world and letting people know how they can work with me or programs I have, things like that. And it's been quite the fascinating journey to witness. But I'm really glad I did it because now I am really feeling embodied in this understanding that the gifts that I have to offer are important and that the work that I'm doing is important and reaches people who need it. And, standing in the power of that allows me to share with more confidence about these other opportunities. So, really grateful to Samia Phoenix for hosting this and to Amy and Nancy Harrington of the Passionistas Project who introduced me to Samia. So let's talk about the butterfly method today. First, I want to say this is actually one of my favorite things I've ever made. And it's because it was the first course that I made that I 100% was so pumped about and like excited to put out in the world. It was the first thing I ever really enrolled people in online in selling like a group offer online. And it was a very small group of us that did it for the first live run. And that was in summer of 2023. And then I, repackaged the recordings and whatnot so that people could buy it at any point in time and benefit from it. And I keep returning to it. So I did a live run and I'm gonna like share the whole deets with you today because I literally have my worksheets here. So I did a full live run. There's worksheets. And the butterfly method is literally this program that I was hosting where for 4 weeks we would go through one of the phases of the butterfly journey and look at an area of our life that we were struggling with that we wanted to be unmade in. And so that summer, when I originally hosted it, I was looking at my inner child and my relationship with my inner child and how I was constantly in work mode and constantly overdoing and striving to the point where I didn't have any room for creative expression. And the fun fact is, at this point, I had not actually published my novel yet, my first novel. And I actually wrote that down as a part of the Butterfly Method program. One of my goals was going to be to publish the book. And I went on to publish the book. And I went on to stop working so much and striving so much and like literally changed my whole relationship with work through this method that I co-created with Spirit and the butterfly. And it just was this beautiful unfolding that I've struggled to figure out how to articulate and put to words because again it's like I just love the program and the framework. It feels like a co-creation with Spirit. It's me using all of my gifts. I channel light language in the program and have like um guided meditations and worksheets that I was showing you here, these fun worksheets. And yeah, that's the stuff, but the substance, like what people get out of it feels hard to articulate. So I figured, you know what? I'll just share some of mine, share some of the process that I went through when I guided myself through the program. And just a little bit of, because I've done the program now twice and I'm planning to do it for myself again because I'm feeling in the chrysalis right now. And then this is something I haven't officially said live yet. So this is the announcement here, but I am going to run another live cohort of the butterfly method for everybody who joins on for the seasonal shenanigans series that Dr. Bird and I are doing starting this winter on the 18th, December 18th, and running through Samhain of 2026. So that cohort is going to get an upgrade to do the butterfly as a live cohort with me after Imulg. of 2026. So I am getting myself back into the groove of everything that this method brings forward. But when I originally walked into this program and I developed it, I wanted to create a framework that through symbolism, through metaphor, poetry, through intuitive gifts and connecting with animal guides, people could really dive in to the essence of what it is to be human and to do some shadow work. Like, actually look at something in our lives that's not working right now, that's feeling really sticky, and transform it, alchemize it, do something with it. Yeah, I hear you. Holly. And so I'm not going to share the full, all of my worksheets because we'd be here all day. But um, the caterpillar phase, we connect with the inner child a lot. And so I was really realizing at this stage when I did it the second time that I was deepening my creative process. So the first time I did it, it was like I was always work mode. There was no play, there was no creativity. Did it the first run, published my book, came back in for a second one. Here's what I dove into then. And I was able to go deeper because it was also my second immersion into this. So at that point, I realized more specificity of what my inner child was looking for, the specific activities that gave me joy, uh, the beliefs such as I'm grown up and I need to be responsible. I'm the responsible one. I'm here to take care of others at my own expense. Oh my gosh, this like unpacked me through winter that year and really changed my relationship with codependency. And I made this program myself. It was like, how cool that it it really works. Because I'm called back to it all the time. So from there, we go into the chrysalis. And so that I realized I was really struggling with uncertainty and that I was struggling with sharing my real feelings with people, that everything in my past, I was really, really feeling my past stuff at that point, and this pattern of avoiding looking at the uncomfortable patterns in relationships. I acknowledge this discomfort as an invitation to recalibrate and rest into alignment. So there's affirmation work that comes through, and we literally create our own empowering affirmations to begin to work through the issue that we're working through as we go through the method. And then eventually we come to the butterfly phase, and the butterfly emerges uncertainly. So by this point, we have done some of the shadow work. We've realized what image we want to make ourselves in. We begin to bring it all together. The butterfly emerges, and we figure out what our wings are. And this is where we get into like the identity, the soul work of who we really are and the vision of the life that we're co-creating. We brag on ourselves. We do some real some hardcore self-affirmation work. It's super important. There's the option to color or draw, of course, gotta get that in there. And so here I was really realizing like, oh, I have specific goals around my writing that I want to bring in for my creative writing specifically. Now that I've done these things and I've overcome these obstacles and I'm realizing how I really like to create, I want to do more of that. And so I set some writing goals and I met those writing goals because I did the shadow work to see what was keeping me from meeting those goals. And then the last part is the cycles, spirals, and expansion. And this is really observing the pattern now. So we can absolutely begin to break a pattern in 3 weeks. And ideally for this program, the recommendation is you do one phase per week. A lot of people will do 2 weeks per phase and really give themselves some room, and some people might even do like a month at a time in each phase. It's really up to you and how slowly you want to digest and do the shadow work, and it really is a digestion process. But in the cycle, spirals, and expansion, we look at the pattern that we are breaking and have broken, learn and integrate what we are moving beyond. So we actually reflect on those uncomfortable cycles and why they have repeated so that we can be gentler as we knowingly go into facing those challenges again. Cycles repeat. I also love the synchronicity that I just taught about cycles today and elements of success. And now I'm talking about this because this is my cycles program. This is like a mini bite-sized thing people can do to begin to alchemize a sticking point in their life. So like I said, for me, a lot of how I've used it is my relationship to work and my creativity. And so we actually trace those cycles. And I was breaking the cycle of not getting results and not finishing projects. And since this point I've gone on to finish multiple books. So it's entirely a thing we can do. We can break these cycles. We can acknowledge these patterns, right? I get into what are the warning signs things are happening. Like I said, my biggest struggle is articulating what the heck the value of this is, but as somebody who has gone through it myself, the value for me was seeing my own patterns, having a framework that gets me out of my own way. I know I developed the framework, but it's in writing. There's worksheets, there's meditations, there's activations. And I go back and I do and I listen to those things. It's a little weird listening to myself. I imagine it might be easier for people who aren't me to listen to it, but there's still deep medicine in it. And I have really benefited from going through my own program because I see where I'm getting in my own way, and there's these bringing it all together portions of the worksheets where it's like, okay, well, now you've acknowledged the patterns and you've seen what's happening and you're recognizing things, but what do you do next? Like, it actually guides us to take the next step, to set the goal, to make the plan in a really concrete way that then feels much easier to do. And I just find it helpful when we have a little bit of a structure or some guideposts when we're doing sorts of shadow work or self development work. So I personally really like having worksheets and the meditations that go with it. So I'd love questions about this. I'll probably talk more about this program. I'll definitely talk more about this program in the future. We will go through it in a 4-week fashion with all of you who sign up for Seasonal Shenanigans 2026. And so I'm really excited to have the live portion again. But I'll give everybody all of the recordings and all the worksheets from the original, and the group will be more of the accountability, like going through it and doing it together and having some moments to process together. But it has been really immensely a powerful program for me. The people who did the original sign up and went through it as we were recording, they got an incredible amount out of it. And we've come back to it as a household and used the framework in our polycule household to have the worksheets and like do the work together in the past as well. So I'm really proud of the program. I know I need to share about it more because again, it lights me up. I love the method. I'm proud of it. I stand behind it. I use it. And I'm going to use it again. In fact, I think I'm going to do it again before we roll into Imulg so that I go through my own little chrysalis shedding butterfly reemerging before I'm holding other people in it again. But if this interests you, it is something you can go enroll in now. It's a course that's there with all of the materials uploaded into a portal at safrianna.com/butterfly. And I do have little packages if you want some one-on-one guidance or coaching type services. You can absolutely grab a little mini bundle of sessions on that page as well. So again, if you have any questions, if this is of interest to you, please let me know. I I love it. I think it's just so much fun and it feels quite magical to connect with the medicine of butterfly while we're doing it. So, before I go, I am just going to draw a card for anyone who might be on the fence thinking about this. Maybe you're even thinking about signing up for Seasonal Shenanigans. Uh, but now you know that the butterfly method is part of that and you're wondering about both of them. I don't know. But mm, rebirth. So, this program, the butterfly method, is an opportunity for rebirth. It is a framework for you to hold you as you go through looking at a sore point in your life. It might be how you're showing up in relationships. It might be your relationship to work or that creative project that you're doing or that future you really want to build, but you are just feeling so stuck in. The butterfly method is a program all about rebirth, emerging as the reborn butterfly into a new way of being. So, if you have been feeling stuck, you have been feeling like you need to shed those old skins, the invitation is here. The butterfly method might be a good support for that. And if you have any questions whatsoever, I'm always here. So, snake, rebirth, shed those skins, my friends. Whether you ever buy into one of my programs or not, I hope you always walk away with the message, the metaphor of this beautiful earth wisdom and medicine that's available for us, right? The symbolism is there. I did not create the way that the caterpillar turns into the butterfly, right? I just realized, oh my gosh, there's so much wisdom in this. And it's not just as simple as the butterfly emerging, because when the butterfly emerges, the wings are flimsy and wet and they can't fly yet. So we need time to integrate our new forms, our new way of being and have some structure and some accountability or some framework, something to support us as we make these changes and transitions. Because it does take support and effort and work to transform, to bleb, to take our little caterpillar bodies and bleb them away into goo and become the butterfly. It takes work. So if you are here for a rebirth, I am here for you. I love you. I believe in you and I'm cheering you on. And thanks for again coming to my rambling, completely unplanned visibility challenge, just proving to myself that I can talk about these things as I continue to refine my message and reach more and more people. So thank you. I'll see you next time. I'll be back here tomorrow for day 10 of the visibility challenge. Bye for now.